All right, here we go. Give you a few minutes to grab a pad of paper and a pen or a marker or crayon or paintbrush, whatever it is you need to take notes with, and we'll get started now. As I mentioned, we're getting down with Facebook and Instagram today, and we're going to learn how to use these platforms and decide which one, or if both, are best for your business goals. Marketing on Facebook and Instagram are kind of two different things. So what's the difference? Facebook has more users than Instagram, yes, but Instagram has better engagement. Instagram is also a more photo and video-based platform, whereas Facebook, while it does utilize a lot of video and images, it's not necessarily the center of what Facebook is about. Facebook is more about engaging with a community and talking through groups and different forums. Facebook results in more conversions than Instagram, depending on what kind of a brand you have. If you are a fashion or makeup or beauty type of brand, you're probably going to see better conversions on Instagram because your product is much more photographic than, say, someone who's working on a finance blog. Brand users are spending more time on Instagram. So this means the people who are looking at your content and engaging with your content will more likely spend more time on your content via Instagram than they will on Facebook. The lifetime of a Facebook post is about 25 minutes or less, depending on the number of pages your users who already like your page are following and how the Facebook algorithm is deciding what post of yours is going to work best. Facebook has more marketing options, which it does to a certain extent, simply based on the fact that you can go through Facebook Messenger and advertise your articles or videos. You can also advertise through Facebook Instant articles and also appear in different apps and games. On Instagram, you really only show up in the Instagram feed, and that's pretty much it. Instagram ultimately is much more limited when it comes to how to market. You can put links in the descriptions of your videos and images, but they're not clickable unless you're on a desktop where you can copy and paste that link. The only option you have on Instagram to place a link anywhere is going to be in your bio. So unless you're really good at keeping up on top of changing out your bio link every single day or every single week, depending on your content schedule, it's really not going to be an effective way to drive traffic. It is an effective way of driving products, though. You can always say, hey, check out this new lipstick, go to julep.com/lipstick, and it'll bring you right to that page. And that tends to be really easy for people who are looking for conversions on Instagram. So let's go through and evaluate these platforms both a little bit more. Who has a business page? Do you have a business page? I have a business page. If you have a business, whether you're a writer, a freelancer, a designer, a web tech, a sports nutritionist, whatever you are, you should have a business page, especially if you're running a business. Your business page is about more than posting. It's about building a community around your brand, sharing relevant content to your audience, targeting customers with what they actually want to see. So what is relevant content on Facebook? Well, relevant content isn't what's relevant according to you. It's what's relevant according to the people who like your page and are engaging with your content on your page. So if you have 25 people out of the 6,000 people that like your Facebook page engaging with one piece of content, it's more than likely going to show up to each of the people's friends that have liked that post. Whereas if you have nobody liking or engaging with your content on your page, it's not going to show up anywhere except for 1 to 3% of the audience that like your page, unless you're boosting a post or working through some kind of ad. Quick side note, when it comes to Facebook boost posts, don't do that. Just go into the Facebook ad manager and create a new ad based off of that post itself. It's a better way to get the biggest bang for your buck. So let's take a walk through the creation of a business page. Usually I'm presenting this to an audience, and a volunteer will start up without a page, or will pretend. So for these purposes, we're going to pretend. So I'm going to exit my screen here. Let's see if it brings it up. Oh, that's okay. We'll just go right in here. All right, so I've already created this page to kind of be just a little bit of a shell. Essentially, you want to make sure that you have an image in the cover side, that you have a profile image going. And so this is for my course that I'm launching called Launch and Build a Kick-Ass Brand. And this little image here of the woman with cactus type hair focuses on, the bloom aspect of the brand. So let's go through our page settings. So we want to make sure that the page is published. And if we don't want people to see it, then all we need to do is unpublish the page and save changes. It won't delete your page or anything. It'll just keep it hidden from everyone else. You want to make sure that if you do want people to be able to publish on the page, that this is allowed. If you don't want people to publish on the page, then make sure you don't have that either. An audience for optimization of your posts. This is important. You want to allow preferred audience selection and the ability to restrict the audience for your posts. This will help you become more targeted in getting your content out to the right people. People can contact my page privately. If you don't want people to send you a message on your Facebook page, just uncheck it. However, I highly recommend against doing that, simply based on the fact that you do want people to message you. If you want people to be able to tag you, then you need to say, yes, allow others to tag photos and videos published by such and such. Page location for frames. Allow people to use Launch and Build a Kick-Ass Brand as a location for frames. Yes, that would be great, because if I wanted to create a frame based on my brand and use it as part of my launch, that'll allow me to do it and tag people within a specific location. The page is visible to everyone. We don't want to target the entire world with this. So we're going to type in United States, and we're only going to target people within the United States and Canada, because they're right there. Save changes. This will also help you with your targeting. Age restrictions. You can show the page to anyone, but again, I want to make sure that I'm helping people understand that they can build a brand, and 13-year-olds just are not going to understand that. I do want to have words blocked from this page, but we won't upload them for that reason. Those are mainly things like profanity. And the easiest way to do that is to turn your profanity filter on. If you want pages that are similar to your page to be recommended, that could potentially end up being competitors, then you do want to click this. When it comes to all of the other settings that are on this, we don't necessarily need to worry about them right now. So we're going to move on to Edit Page. When you click this, you're going to see that all of your little tabs will pull up here. So we have posts, reviews, videos, photos, about, yada, yada, yada. Make sure that you have a very finite number of tabs on the side of your business page for Facebook. My recommendation is no more than 6 or 7, especially if they are relevant. Next, each of these is just, your business page's messenger platform. You can set up different apps like ManyChat to work through helping people connect with you a little bit more sooner, answer some important questions. People on other pages. This is going to be just a list of people who like your page and other pages that like your page. Preferred page audience. This isn't something that's available anymore. Page owners used to be able to reflect the people they want to connect with. You can still add and edit country, age restrictions, etc., but they are now taking this away and really focusing on the algorithm outcomes. Branded content. This is important, as is everything that we talk about. If you want people to be able to just tag your Facebook business page willy-nilly, then you can just leave this turned off. But if you want specific people and you want to control the number of people who do tag your page, then you would want to turn it on. Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, make sure that you connect it. You cannot connect the same Instagram account to multiple Facebook business pages, just as an FYI. Okay, that's pretty simple and straightforward. Let's go back to the page. After we are able to do that, we want to click on the About, and we want to make sure that we edit this category. E-courses. And you're just basically going to type in keywords and categories that have to do with your brand. You'll hit save. And you'll continue to edit your page info. I'm going to put in my website information here and courses because that's where I want people to go. Don't need to worry about a street address if you don't have one. Okay. This is going to take you to look at all of your information. Create a page username. Make sure that this is something short and sweet so that people can type in facebook.com/your brand's name. So for this, we're going to say Kickass Brand. Create. Done. Next, you'll want to make sure that you go through your About section and continue to insert information in here. Edit your start date. Tell people your story, your phone number if you have one, an email, enter the address to your website, insert some information about the company itself. If you have a menu for your brand, if you're a restaurant that is, put in the menu. If you have products, make sure that you put the products in here and on this page. So now that we've built a page and can understand the importance of building a page and filling out everything as much as possible to the best of our ability, let's talk about creating a post. When I originally created and presented this presentation, for lack of a better word, to a live audience, Facebook had a very different policy. At that time, you were able to edit the metadata, which is the post title and post description and the image within the post itself. These days, you cannot edit any of that. So it's very important that when you create a post on your WordPress website, that you set a featured image, use your SEO Yoast plugin, and fill out every level of metadata possible. That way, when anyone shares that post on their Facebook page or anywhere out there on social media, all of the images and the branded content you want to be out there is out there, and there is no way anyone could change that or have a doubt in their mind about what it is that blog is coming from. So let's create a post, and I will show you exactly how some of this works. So we're just going to exit the screen here really quick. We're going to pull up Facebook. And let's go to a business page. Travel Foodie Mom is one of my personal blog websites that I use. Right? So we'll create a post. Let's grab a link from my website. Go to blogs. use the latest one. Copy the link, paste it in, and then it's going to bring a preview. Now, notice, I'm sharing this post and I'm showing you what the issue is with this post because there is no featured image. And I set it up that way so that you could see exactly what happens when you don't set a featured image. It's not going to pull any of the images that you have on your actual post itself. It's going to pull nothing. So you can try to add an image. This is the branded image that goes with it. But if someone's sharing your blog just outright that isn't you, that doesn't know that this image needs to go with the blog, you're kind of out of luck. So then you'll say something, lorem ipsum, blah, 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 post. And the page will refresh. And it pulls up very nicely. But again, if you did not have a featured image set on your post, you're kind of out of luck when it comes to other people posting your stuff. So if we go into the back end here, I'll show you where that little featured image part is. Go to our posts, click edit. And it will load at some point in time in the future. There we go. And here it is here. Set featured image. Grab the image. Set. And done. And then all you have to do is hit update. So now we'll grab another article just for the sake of practice and show you how it goes and how it happens. I mean, honestly, this is all pretty self-explanatory and very easy to work with. But if you don't have all of your metadata information set up, then you're probably not going to have a quality post that pulls. There it is. And then you would just write something about it and hit publish. Back in the day, this was so easy to customize, but with the fake news as of the election, Facebook has taken that away from all of us, sadly. Content schedule. It's important that you know what you're going to be sharing. And the reason for this from a business perspective is to really help you understand the topics that you can discuss and bring your breadth of knowledge into the world through a very organized and set schedule. So here's an example of how you can set things up. This is a content calendar that I use on a weekly basis. And in the example here, you can write down important holidays. Obviously, donuts are really important to me, so National Donut Day, obviously. Then you put your post, your link, your visual, and go from there. I have it sectioned out for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This is a downloadable piece that you can find under our blog. I will also provide the link on this page here so that you can download this handy dandy little guy. So as I said, having a content schedule is important. It'll help you understand what you're going to share and help keep you on track. Especially if you are a client-based person, you can get so distracted by the number of people that you talk to each week, the work you're doing with them, that you forget, oh God, what am I supposed to post this week? Your content schedule is going to be your saving grace. Promoting posts. So understanding what you're doing when you boost a post or photo. First of all, if you've had the opportunity to take Monica Louie's course, Flourish with Facebook Ads, you know all too well that you are not at any point in time supposed to click on Boost Post. That is a no-no. What you should be doing is jumping into the Facebook Ads part of your program that you have and setting up a new post based off of a new ad that you create. If you get the chance, definitely head over to flourishwithfacebookads.com and purchase that course from Monica Louie. It has saved me so much money and time on all of my ads, and it's incredible. Creating events. Events on Facebook are super amazing. And the reason why is they pull so much more attention to users when they're going through the newsfeed. So if you create an event, this is going to be a place for you to directly market to interested customers. Utilizing Facebook events will allow you to provide those targeted messages that I just mentioned, launch products, find new customers. So a great example is that if you're going to be launching a new course or a new book and you have a specific day that it comes out, creating an event on Facebook that targets that specific date and then allows you to invite people to the launch of this book can help create new buzz and messages to these people, and they're going to receive those notifications that you've shared new information about this event or book launch in their newsfeed and their notifications, which is what they check most frequently. Audience growth is an important metric to keep in mind. So we're going to talk about ways to grow your Facebook page and some of the best kept secrets and having the right kind of fans. Growing an audience is really important. They're just not your fans. They're your followers. They are your advocates. They're the people that are there to cheer you on and keep you going. They are the consumers of your content and products and services. Finding and engaging with an authentic brand advocate is incredibly important and vital to the success of your business. It's a way for you to connect with them on a deeper one-to-one level. And I'm not talking about, saying, hey guys, tell me in a GIF what your favorite part about the holidays are. It's not about that. It's about understanding them and listening to their needs and their problems and how you can better serve them. You can also start a Facebook group, which is also a really great way to start doing some more user-based content and get those people in the group to start making conversation. It's like a text message with your favorite fans as a group message. If you've joined a Facebook group before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't done a Facebook group before, check out our Blonde Moment of the Week where we talk about important strategies for 2018. There are a couple of different ways you can grow your audience market. So how do you figure out who your audience is? You can look through Google Analytics, Facebook demographic reports, and you can start having discussions in different groups. Another way to really understand who your audience is to take a look at what it is that your business is about. What's your mission? What's your vision? What values do you provide? What are your beliefs? And then start creating customer avatars based off of those people and understanding who they are. Are they a mom that lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and is more focused on the arts programs and getting her kids to enjoy karate every single day? Or is it a single mom who lives out in Queen Creek where it's cheaper and more affordable, but wants the same opportunities that the mom in Phoenix has? Should you pay for ads? Facebook ads can be expensive, but they don't have to be. If you don't know what you're doing, they're going to cost you a lot of money. Our suggestion is to check out Flourish with Facebook Ads, like I mentioned earlier, with Monica Louie. Her course is perfect for the novice, and it really helps you understand Facebook and how to become precise and more targeted with your advertising than you could ever imagine. Another way that you can think about growing your Facebook fan base is to offer a free ebook, provide a webinar where you share your information. Maybe you have a new workout and nutrition method that really works well together and you want to share that information with people. You can create free mini courses like this mini course that we have here, where we talk about, Facebook and Instagram and understanding what it is on a little bit more of a deep level than you're going to understand when you're first starting out with your business. You can hold a contest. Eva Baker just started a contest back in October and November where she did a $50 savings challenge. For everyone that entered and did save $50 for that month, she gave them $50 into their bank account and doubled their contest savings. You can do challenges, which are similar to Eva Baker's challenge. Chris Peach from Money Peach just recently did a savings challenge, and that really helps drive, engagement and email growth as well to their business page other than, Facebook. Start working in partnerships with related brands. Your competitors, quite honestly, are not your competitors in a traditional sense online. Your competitors are now going to be part of your community. The best way to understand how this works is to take a look at how the personal finance community works. We're all writers doing the same exact thing and out there sharing our perspective on money. And the important thing for us is to not compete against one another for a writing gig. It's to work together to help other businesses and other personal finance brands understand the varying voices out there that they need to have. One writer is not going to write about things that one person or one group of people out in the world is going to understand. And it's important for brands to expand their thought process out there and brands to actually work together. Take Sensei and the Penny Hoarder, for example. They cross-promote articles for one another all the time. And it's important for people to understand that that's okay. How you can be healed and benefit from one another without competing against one another and trying to drive the other one out of business. Another way to start up some partnerships is by bringing together brand pods. And these are going to be people that are your brand advocates. The best way to identify who those people are, those brand advocates, is to start a Facebook group or start interacting with those users a little bit more. Maybe take the top 5 people who engage with your brand on a weekly basis and say, hey, would you be interested in adminning this group? Would you be interested in joining this pod where we all exchange information and articles and we share it on our page? That'll help bring traffic to your website and really solidify you within the community. Creating a branded community. This is going to be a more specific talk on Facebook groups. Facebook groups are huge and have thousands of them. And there are tons of different networking opportunities. And you have to understand, you can't just join 50 different groups and expect to get the same result. You got to be targeted with the groups that you're a part of and with the group that you start. Utilizing Facebook groups is a less is more approach. You need to be authentically you. And yes, that word is so overused in marketing these days, but it's absolutely true. If you're not being real with people, everyone's going to see right through it and think that you're fake. Other members in the group and find natural ways to introduce your content. If you're a part of a group that obviously has a whole chain that says you can share your blog in here once a week or once a day, that would be the place to do it. But if you're a part of a blog group or like a Girls Love Travel Facebook group, for example, there isn't really a whole lot of regulation. You can share any article so long as it falls within the different categories that that group talks about. Starting your own group can be challenging. It takes a lot of work, and you need to have an established audience that actually knows who you are and cares about you before you start a group. Otherwise, it's going to kind of fall flat. And when that happens, my suggestion is to archive the group, wait a few months, and then start again. Facebook groups are important because it's a place for you to interact with your fan base. A lot of the Facebook groups and communities that I run, we do a weekly poll to help us understand where our content needs to start driving, what the most important things are to our users so that we can address those and really help them understand that we are listening to them. It's where you can provide customer tailored content. And by that, I mean you post, let's say you post something in a group one week that talks about the importance of investing early. And people are like, oh, I'm already investing, or I'm new to investing, but I kind of understand what it is. And you have other content on investing, you can take an article and say, here's more advanced approach to investing that I think you would enjoy. Here's something that discusses an intermediate version of investing that will help you understand where to go from the basics and up. It's an important place for you to get to know your people. They are your tribe. They are the people that are going to stand by your side whenever you post something or record a new video or record a new podcast. They're your peeps, and you need to pay attention to them. It's a great place for you to reiterate points that you've made in blogs. For example, if you run a Facebook group, you can take one of your most popular blogs that maybe has 10 really solid points and stretch those points out over the course of a couple of days and really drag that conversation out of people a little bit more and have a deeper level convo. Facebook groups are also important to keep you personally in check and help you remember where you came from. So many brands and so many personal brands and influencers out there started out really small and really came and grew from nothing. And the minute they got big, they kind of turned into jerks, or they turned into people who were like, I don't really have time for that anymore, so you can talk to this person instead. And it's not that everyone is out there doing the same thing. It's just, you need to remember where you came from. Remember that you were once that person asking questions and eagerly awaiting a semi-famous person's response. Be kind to one another and be kind to the people you interact with. So what is your community going to be about? What's your brand about? Would your brand actually benefit from a community, or would it sink? What's the point of your community going to be? If you sell supplements, is a community on Facebook really going to benefit your business and drive sales and help you convert and gain more retention? What's the value in having a community? What's the value not only to your customers, but to you? How are you also benefiting from having a Facebook community? Here are some tips on how to utilize Facebook groups. Host a discussion over content. Join the conversation. Be one of the people, again, remember where you came from. You can like other members' pages and products. So there are tons of groups out there that have a Follow Friday or Social Media Tuesday where you can share one of your social media links and people will, follow you on Twitter or follow you on Instagram. It's a great way to really pep up your fellowship and get others to enjoy, having a conversation with you. It's a great place to build your network. There are at least a handful of people I know that I've met through a Facebook group that have either contributed to something that I have or I've contributed to what they have, which also expands my network and my reach in the digital sphere. And again, find your brand advocates up in those Facebook groups. Some things to consider before you start your own group. Are you ready? Running a successful Facebook group takes at least 5 to 10 hours of your time every week. So make sure that you have time for it. And the bigger it grows, the more time you have to dedicate to it. Will this provide value to your efforts as a marketer? And is this something you can handle? Again, it's such an important point to make. If you don't have the extra 5 to 10 hours a week to run a Facebook group, it may not be worth your while quite yet. Here are some tips to help you get started. Connect as both your brand and yourself. And I mean this on 2 different levels. Through an emotional connection and through a literal connection. Connect your Facebook page to your group. Always ask yourself, is this providing value for my customers? If you ever think that what you're posting is questionable, take a minute to really reflect on what you've been posting throughout the last couple of weeks and see where you need to shift gears. use gritix.com. I use it for all of my Facebook groups. It helps me see who are the most interactive, who are the people that are really being those brand advocates, and who needs a little bit extra love, as well as, your basic analytics reports. Just like in creating your brand, keep the promises you make in the group. All right, now let's talk about Instagram. So many small business owners who are not on Instagram or have an Instagram and no posts think that Instagram is just a place where you post about your food and your day and all the cool stuff that you do, and it's for basic you-know-whats and all that junk. And really, it's not. It's a place where your brand story is going to come to life. Your profile. So what should your profile look like? Obviously, we need to have a username, a description, and a website URL. And this website URL here, this is interchangeable. You can change this at any point in time. In your description, you want to make a point of who you are and the value that you provide. Mine actually just lists all the things that I am and that I do, and I make sure that my posts reflect, the fact that I'm a marketing consultant in Arizona, hence the cactus, that I'm a wanderluster. I travel quite a lot, and I love being able to share my experiences that way. I co-founded Travel Foodie Mom, so I share about, food and some mom stuff. I also host a podcast called Monday Morning Mimosas. So here you can see that I have a little microphone and all that. And then I'm a geek. So as you can tell in my profile picture here, I went to Comic-Con and dressed up as Daenerys Targaryen and got my little son a little dragon. So I always try to include dirty stuff, fun stuff, mom stuff, and work stuff. That's just how I run my profile. Creating a post. Instagram are standard photo, square photo, portrait, boomerang video, slideshow style, photo booth layout, and using new videos under 10 seconds into your Instagram stories. So optimizing a post. You want to make sure that you have a description, that you tag your partners, related hashtags, and brand your photo. So when I went to the Teenpreneur conference, I bought a ton of cool swag to really help encourage some of the teens to share their personal outlook and thought process on social media itself. And then when I wrote a description about the photo and everything that I had, I wrote, about the bag swag, and then I tagged the Teenpreneur in it, and then I wrote a bunch of hashtags that had to do with, me, myself, and how I was using some of the content in the picture. Hashtags are really important. There's also a new feature on Instagram where you can follow a hashtag. So if there is a hashtag that you want to start branding yourself with, for example, hashtag the blonde spot, hashtag Teenpreneur, definitely start utilizing that as your constant go-to for hashtags so that people can start following your hashtag if they're not following your profile. Hopefully, if they're following your hashtag, though, they are starting to follow your profile. Content schedule. This is a question I get a lot. How often should you post on Instagram? It really depends on your audience. If you're looking for quick growth, you need to be posting 2 to 3 times a day throughout the entire day based off of your high traffic times, which you can find in your analytics on your Instagram profile. If you are someone like me who isn't necessarily trying to grow their brand on Instagram, but it is an important part of your overall strategy and revealing who you are as a person, then I post as much as I feel like throughout the day, or as little as I feel like throughout the day, but I at least grab one photo and get it in. So for you, how often will you post? Is your audience even on Instagram? Should you be thinking of strategies to use when it comes to your Instagram stuff? Once you do decide if you will post or how often you will post, what are you going to post? What time of day are you going to post? The best way to find that out is to take a look at your Instagram's business analytics. And if you haven't already established an Instagram account, run some A/B tests. Do 1 week where you post nothing but at 9 a.m. in the morning. And then the next week, post at 9 p.m. at night. And then the week after that, post in the middle of the day. See what time of day is really pulling in all of your users. Is everyone waking up straight away in the morning and looking at their Instagram feed like a newspaper? Is that when people are paying attention to you? Or is it at night when they're done for the day, their kids are tucked in bed and they're kind of relaxing? Brand marketing on Instagram. Like I said when we first started talking about Instagram in this presentation, is Instagram is really about letting your brand story grow and bloom. So how do you tell your story right now? I want you to take a minute and think about your brand, who it is, and what story you have to tell. How are you going to tell it? And it's not just about writing. It's about visually explaining your story, your daily experiences, or maybe you go off of a content theme each week where you talk about your struggles with your kids. Building your audience is also really incredibly important. If you don't have an audience and you're just posting, your content's not going to do anything for you. So on Instagram, building your audience means engaging with your current followers and engaging with new followers. You need to be doing follows and unfollows every single day. You need to be going in and liking and commenting on tons and tons of photos every single day. And it's not just about the number of people or number of photos that you engage with. It's about creating that real and authentic engagement. Go to a person's profile and say, oh my gosh, Kat, I'm so glad you were able to go to brunch with your husband today. That's so important to get that time in. Or it's going to, a business page and saying, wow, the content you're sharing is really great. I love the point you make about A, B, and C. Some tools to get you started. These days, the tech industry has ways to help you grow your following and manage your profile holistically. And I'm not talking about jumping on Fiverr.com and purchasing 5,000 followers and adding it to your Instagram account. While that number does look really great for people who you're trying to get to pay you to do things, they're not real followers. They're not going to engage with your content. They're just there to make your numbers look good. So make sure that you're using tools that will help you analyze and understand who your users are and allow you to jump into your Instagram profile and find those people through hashtags and through your other followers as well. So this point here, refer back to your brand sheet. This is something that you can get a hold of in my new course that's coming out called Build and Launch a Kick-Ass Brand. This brand sheet is also going to be available as a one-sheeter download when you sign up on our email list. We'll send that over to you in an email so that you have access to it. So this makes a really huge point on, what's your passion and your mission and your brand story. Discuss how you're going to work with your product or service. What do you experience daily? You can take a look at a teenpreneur named Xandra and look at her beauty line. She talks about, her as a teenager going through the business world and working through promotionals and packaging and labeling, and then doing homework and doing school stuff and normal teenager stuff. Maybe you take your customers behind the scenes and give them something they can connect with. Tons of mom bloggers do exactly this. I mean, you'll see picture perfect Instagram profiles, but every now and then there'll be a bunch of spilled milk and cereal all over the floor, and they'll tell you about how frustrating their day was. Put away the glitter bombs. So what do I mean by this? There's a difference between talking at your customer and talking with them. Talking at them is throwing glitter in their face and expecting them to be like, ooh, glitter, this is so fun. And talking with them is showing them how to use that glitter effectively and understand what the point is of the conversation you're having. Entice them, invite them, share things with them. Here's how I tell my story. I tell my story by being open and honest about who I am and where I came from. So what is that? I come from a small family up in Seattle, Washington that didn't understand finances and really had a tough time, making friends and getting along with people in school. I was bullied and picked on, and then I graduated high school and clung on to the very first guy that gave me any kind of attention. And, that wasn't a healthy relationship. And it really messed with my mind and my confidence and made me feel less powerful than I really truly was. Then when I got pregnant and had my son and was able to overcome all of that and move past the mental barriers that surrounded that relationship, I became much more empowered. And now I focus on sharing that story. This is just a quick version, FYI. I'm more than happy to share with you the intense version. And I share that story with tons of women everywhere and men too. Relationships can really destroy you and bring you down. And it's important that we recognize the power within us all and find a way to harness it and pull it out. And that's a lot of what I do with our branding courses and with some of the marketing services that we provide. We help business owners get to know who they are and what they are capable of and show them new ways of providing value to their customers. And I do that. I share that information and provide, my powerful moments, my weak moments, and my loving moments on my Instagram page. So building your audience on Instagram. There are a few ways. Instagram pods, similar to the pods we discussed with Facebook. These are full of influencers and brand advocates. You do a bunch of follows, find customers through hashtags that are important to your brand, like photos that you find through hashtags. So if you have coach and you're a mom fitness coach, you might want to go and find people that are using hashtag #FitMom and follow them and comment on their stuff and invite them to learn more about your business. Ways to engage. This is very surface level stuff, just an FYI. There are other ways to do this, but to get you going, these are a few ways you can do it. Like 100 posts a day. This doesn't mean go out and mass like a bunch of random posts. This means find 100 posts every single day on your profile that are actually going to be meaningful to you. Follow 50 people a day. Again, follow 50 quality people. For every one person you follow, unfollow someone who does not follow you. And that just means that person's not going to equally engage with your content. And yes, you want to follow less people than are following you, but at the same time, it really just is a balance of what you prefer. There is no perfect number of followers. There is no perfect number of people that you are following. It's all based off of what your brand represents and what your story is going to be. Understanding your analytics. Graphs and numbers are really only part of it. You need to look through your trending posts and analyze the context of written word, and listening to your customers are some of the biggest parts. Understanding what they think of a post and what their opinion is about something specifically is going to really help you understand your analytics and your results from your Instagram efforts more thoroughly. Sharing what you like isn't enough. To establish yourself on Instagram, you must understand who you are, who your brand is, what about you resonates with other people, and how it can be translated into sales. Here are some tools to help you get started. Planoly. This is a really amazing visual tool to help you plan out the style of your Instagram page. Instagram Suite is really great for some design stuff. Studio Design is an app on iPhone that allows you to design a bunch of really cool quote images or fancy up some of the images that you have, and Buffer. I like using Buffer for really small companies. Blondspot uses Sprout Social, but it is kind of expensive. So if you're just starting out, Buffer is $10 a month and provides you with in-depth information about every single thing you post within each platform you have connected. How Facebook and Instagram play together is a really important concept to also understand. Everything about this mini course is really important. Cross-platform sharing. This is a question I also receive a lot. And yes, you can totally do cross-platform sharing, but here's the thing. What you post on Instagram to Facebook and vice versa, do you have the same audience on Facebook and Instagram? Or are they completely two different people? Are people going to be annoyed that they're seeing your Instagram content on Facebook? Make the two separate. That's what I think. Facebook and Instagram promotions are available in the same advertising platform on Facebook ads. Whatever paid ad or promotion you create or click or create appears on both platforms. So again, just like I said with cross-platform sharing and content, make sure that if you're going to have the same ad run on both platforms, that it actually makes sense. If you need to have a completely different style of ad on your Instagram, like a video on Instagram versus Facebook, then make sure that you're doing that and taking that extra time to make it quality. Link sharing in groups. Sharing post URLs and blogs and articles on platforms on Reddit and Instagram and Facebook and so much more. So what does this mean? On Instagram, you have one opportunity to share a link. You can put it into the description of your image, but since Instagram is a mainly mobile platform, you have to understand that not everyone is going to go to your page. You're going to have way less traffic on Instagram than you are on Facebook. So make sure you utilize the right strategies in the right places. Reddit and places like Quora and StumbleUpon are really great syndication platforms that allow you to share that content. Reddit, you're going to run into more trolls, so I say avoid that unless you are an avid Redditor. On StumbleUpon, you can stumble your link, which just means adding it to their database. The risk you run with that, of course, is that you might have an increased bounce rate, but over time, those bounce rates go down and the quality from StumbleUpon increases. But ultimately, we're talking about Facebook and Instagram, right? Right. So understanding how your strategies between Instagram and Facebook run into other syndication platforms and other social media platforms as a whole is really important. Facebook and Instagram really should be two separate platforms from a content standpoint. So make sure that when you are creating your content calendar that it does incorporate information that may have a similar meaning but has a different message. Here are some cross-posting examples for those of you that are wanting to start doing some cross-promoting. So we have Delete Tattoo Removal and Laser Salon in Phoenix. They have a brand sponsorship with Roland Schumann, who's an Olympic swimmer. We posted one image here, and then right over onto Facebook, we're talking about more images that really help exemplify the treatment he underwent. And then with Brittany Castro, for example, she was running a money course. She had a really beautiful little gift type image that was running. And then we had kind of the same image going on Facebook, but it was a little bit more expanded, and the same with this one down here. Some last minute notes. Working with Instagram and Facebook isn't easy. It's like taking AP chemistry. It's a finite science that requires a lot of dedication and a lot of understanding and listening. Don't be a post monkey. This means don't just post things and throw shit on the wall and hope that it sticks. It's not going to work. Trust me, I've tried. Share what your customers and you care about. If you don't care about something and you're just sharing it because you know it's going to trend, people are going to see right through it. Don't glitter bomb your followers. Please, just share the glitter with them. Talk about the glitter. Don't throw it at them. Be community conscious. This means do not, for the love of God, post things in a group that might be insensitive or breaking the guidelines of that group. Sign up for Facebook Blueprint. If you aren't able to afford Monica Louise Flourish with Facebook Ads course, Facebook Blueprint is free, and it does teach you a little bit more about Facebook ads and how to use them properly. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed everything that you learned. I know it was a lot, so if you have questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Blonde Spot Sarah.